Continuing with lesson 1, explain 3. We're gonna find a midpoint. Vocab. Midpoint of a line segment is the point that divides the segment into two segments that have the same length. A line, ray, or other figure that passes through the midpoint of a segment is a segment bisector. In the figure, the tick marks show that PM is equal to MQ. Therefore, M is the midpoint of PQ and L bisects PQ. So we have this PQ, right? M is the midpoint. Then the line that goes through point M, any line, is gonna bisect PQ. Okay, so you can use paper folding as a method to construct the bisector of a given segment and locate the midpoint of the segment. I have a paper. Let's go to example 3. Use paper folding to construct the bisector of each segment. So step 1, you're going to use a compass and straight edge to copy AB on a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to put the paper on the screen so that I can copy it off right off the screen. You see that? Yeah. So step 2, we're going to fold the paper so that point B is on top of point A. So this is A, that's B. I don't know if you can see it. This is A and that's B. I'm going to fold it so that B is on top. Okay. Open the paper. Label the point where the crease intersects the segment as point M. This does not exactly have to be a midpoint, but this is a point of intersection, point M. Okay. Point M is the midpoint of AB. And the crease, this is the midpoint, I guess. And the crease is a bisector of AB. Oh, okay. So when you fold it, A and B, they have to be on top of each other. And if you fold it so that your A is like right on top of B, I think this is right. Okay, so I was pretty close. And then I plot the point M, that's gonna be the midpoint. Okay, so point M is the midpoint of AB, line AB, and the crease is a bisector of line segment AB. Okay, you can do the same thing for B. So think about how you can explain how you could use paper folding to divide a line segment into 4 segments of equal length. Now you have to describe it in your own words. Explain number 4. We're going to find midpoints on the coordinate plane. You can use the midpoint formula to find the midpoint of a segment on the coordinate plane. Look at the midpoint formula. The midpoint M of AB with endpoints A, x sub 1, comma, y sub 1, and B, x sub 2, comma, y sub 2, is given by M, which is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, comma, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. Alright, that makes sense, because if you have 2 points, A and B, right? And then you add the x's together, right? You add them together. So x's are looking at the horizontals. So you add this part and this part together and then divide it by half. And that's going to be your average, which is your midpoint. And your y point, this part and that part, you add them together, add these two values together and divide it by 2. And that's going to be your midpoint right here. Okay. So your midpoint is going to have these 2 points. your two x's of points A and B, the endpoints, divided by 2, and the two y's of your endpoints divided by 2. Example 4, we're going to show that each statement is true. A, if segment line PQ has endpoints P, -4, 1, and Q, 2, -3, then the midpoint of M of line segment PQ lies in quadrant 3. So we're going to show that this statement is true. We're going to use the midpoint formula to find the midpoint of PQ. So we already have the points PQ, and we just need to add the x's together. This x comma y, that's x comma y as well. This could be x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. We're going to add the x's together. -4 plus 2 divided by 2, and then divided by 2, that's your x. And then your y's together. 1 plus -3 divided by 2, which is -1 comma -1. Yay! So M lies in quadrant 3 because -1 comma -1 is right here. That's quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Remember that? So since x and y coordinates are both negative. Okay, so that's proven. B, if line segment RS has endpoints R, 3, 5, and S, -3, -1, then the midpoint of M of line segment RS lies on the y-axis. We're going to use the midpoint formula again to find the midpoint of RS. We're going to substitute the coordinates. So this is R, that's S, those are your x's, these are your y's. 3 plus -3 divided by 2. 5 plus -1 divided by 2. What is it? It's 0, 2. So we're gonna substitute the coordinates and simplify. 0, 2. So M lies on the y-axis since the x coordinate is 0. Coordinate is 0. Okay, now it's your turn. You can practice with these problems on the bottom. And the lesson 1 is over. We'll continue with lesson 2 later on. See you then.